What if I told you there's a secret weapon against the Caro-Kann where you sacrifice a bishop? Just to rip open the enemy king, buckle up, we're about to unleash chaos. We start with e4, black responds with pawn to c6, the Caro-Kann defense. We push d4, claiming the center, black strikes back with d5. Here's the shocker, we push our pawn to f3, the fantasy variation. Wait, that blocks the knight. Exactly, we're inviting black to capture our pawn. Black takes our pawn with their queen's pawn. We recapture with our f-pawn, now our center is solid and we've got open lines. Black counters by pushing their e-pawn, attacking our center. We develop our knight to f3. Black takes our queen's pawn, time to unleash hell. We slide our bishop to c4, eyeing that weak f7 square near black's king. Black develops their knight to f6. We castle to safety. Black brings their bishop to c5. This is the most common move in online chess and looks like a natural move, but it's a losing mistake. Now boom, our knight jumps to g5, threatening a fork on f7. Black castles kingside to escape. We sacrifice our bishop, smashing it into f7 if black takes with their rook. We sacrifice our knight too, capturing the rook. Black's king has to take our knight. Now our queen storms to h5, delivering a crushing check. Notice that the knight is pinned and can't take our queen. Black's king retreats to g8. Our queen snatches the bishop on c5. We're up material with a raging attack, and this is just the start. What if black tries to fight fire with fire by pinning your knight? Bad news for them, we've got a brutal sacrifice with an 84% win rate. Let's break it down. After we have castled, black tries to pin our knight with their bishop to g4. Big mistake. We sacrifice our bishop immediately, smashing it into f7. Their king has to take it. Our knight jumps forward with check, forcing their king to retreat to g8. We take their bishop with our knight, and when they recapture with their knight, our queen swoops in, eliminating their knight and they can't castle. And we have an active rook looking at the f-file and a passed pawn in the center, and they have no pieces developed. What if black tries to block your dangerous bishop with their own bishop? Online players love this move, but little do they know, we've got a massive attack coming that leaves their king running for its life. Instead of developing normally, black tries to block with their bishop to e6. We take their bishop immediately, forcing them to recapture with their f-pawn. Now their pawn structure is wrecked. We castle to safety, while black develops their knight to f6. We push our e-pawn to e5, kicking their knight. Their knight retreats to d5. Our knight jumps to g5, threatening their weak e6 pawn. Black tries to counterattack with their queen to b6. Our knight crashes into e6, destroying their pawn and getting ready for potential kingside tactics. Black moves their knight to d7, trying to develop. Our queen slides to f3, putting pressure on the f-file and kingside. Their knight takes our e5 pawn, but our queen storms to f5, keeping the heat on. Black brings their bishop to d6, trying to stabilize. Our knight delivers a crushing check on g7, forcing their king to run to d8. We develop our other knight to d2, keeping control. Their king keeps running to c7. Our knight checks again on e6, pushing their king to b8. Finally, our knight leaps to e4, completing the domination, their king almost in the open, and we've got all the initiative. After our bishop and rook join the battle, it's over for black. When black plays knight to d7, the engines might approve, but we're about to crack this position wide open with a series of punishing moves. Black develops their knight to d7. Instead of panicking, we make a subtle but powerful move, queen to e1. This does three key things. It protects our pawn on e4, prepares to swing the queen to g3 for a kingside assault, and it allows us to push b4 when they play bishop c5. Black responds by bringing their bishop to c5, but we immediately strike with b4, forcing their bishop to retreat. When it moves back to e7, we seize the initiative by pushing our e-pawn to e5, kicking their knight to d5. Now we unleash our next weapon, bishop takes knight on d5. They have no choice but to recapture with their pawn, which ruins their pawn structure and opens lines for our attack. Our queen then storms forward to g3, zeroing in on black's weakened kingside. They castle, but it's already too late, we're in full assault mode. We place our bishop aggressively on h6, threatening to rip apart their defensive pawn cover. When they push their pawn to g6 to block mate on g7, we capture their rook on f8, winning material outright. They recapture with knight, and we continue the attack with knight takes on d4. Black captures on b4 with their bishop, and we kick it with pawn to c3. They back the bishop to c5, and we bring the other knight to d2. Their knight jumps to f6, and we kick the bishop with knight to b3. Black brings the bishop to f8 to keep it safe and protect the kingside. We lift our rook to f2, preparing to double the rooks, and black brings their other bishop to d7. Now we finish our development with doubling our rooks on the f-file. Now we're in complete control. Their bishop is buried on f8, doing nothing. We have doubled rooks, and all of our pieces are developed. This isn't just theory. It's a step-by-step demolition of black's most stubborn setup. Want to learn more openings that crush opponents like this? Check out our Chess Opening Guides playlist. Hit subscribe so you never miss a winning line.